Hello there, everyone. I apologize if you guys are tired of seeing these Champion Mission Kalos videos, but good news, this one is very exciting, I promise. And it is also the last one, at least for now, because this is the 3rd Legion Champion. And yes, spoilers, I do fucking clear this boss. This is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in MapleStory, and I know it's just normal Kalos, little bro, how serious can it be? But hear me out when I say this is like a min clear. This is like the first min clear I've ever done on any character ever in my life. For like a relevant boss, I guess I would say. Obviously, I've done min clears on like older bosses when I was progging my Nightwalker solo. But what I mean by this is I think the scouter for my Dawn Warrior on the Champion Kalos mission is like 120%, I think it was, or 121%. Basically, it insinuates that I should have about 4 minutes to play with, because how the percentage works is it's how much percentage of the boss you can kill in the timer. So I can do 120% of N Kalos in the timer, in the 20-minute timer, allegedly, which would roughly work out to be like an extra 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken on how the math works on that. At least that's my understanding of how the scouter works. If that's not true, please correct me so I know how it works. In any case, I'll put up the scouter again if I didn't already at the beginning of the video. I'll just put it up in both places, whatever, it doesn't matter. But basically, the scouter says I should have 120%, which my interpretation of that means I have about 4 minutes to spare to play around with for, like, you know, not having perfect uptime, not maybe even missing a burst. But this is one of the cases where scouter kind of shows it's not 100% one-to-one accurate, because I don't believe I could do this any faster. The only way I could do this faster is if I'm able to phase the segments in P2 differently in less bursts. And that would require me getting significantly stronger. I genuinely do not think I could do this any faster than what I did here. I mean, I could definitely do it a little bit faster. We're talking like seconds of difference, but we're not talking minutes of difference. This is probably as close to as perfect play as I'm reasonably gonna get on this character, and this is after 6 or 7 tries of this over the span of a couple days, I would say. Because the reason why I say this is because I got every single burst off, I got every single ring swap mini burst off correctly, like I mini bursted every single time. My uptime was okay. Obviously, my uptime wasn't 100%, but I don't think the missing uptime would have made the difference of 4 minutes for the kill, right? Especially with how Kalos' Phase 2 segments work. I think Dawn Warrior is just a class that's, generally speaking, pretty weak. And I've always known this, but doing the Kalos mission has really made me see this firsthand. Because my Dawn Warrior is something like, I don't know, like 340 mil CP, and my Thunderbreaker was like 290 mil CP when he did this, but my Thunderbreaker does have much better Hexa, and its Hexa scales better, so, I mean, that's to be expected. I'm not kind of discrediting that, but it's just crazy to me how, like, a 50 mil CP difference doesn't, like, just carry the Hexa that's missing. In any case, if you guys don't watch this run fully, totally understand. But I do implore you to at least skip to like the last 30 seconds of the video and watch the end of the run. Or not the last 30 seconds of the video, because I do level up the Legion Champion thing. The last 30 seconds of the actual Kalos fight, it's around the 20-minute mark, because this fight does take the entire 20 minutes. You'll see what I mean if you watch the end of the fight. But this is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in this game. It's not even close. Like, dual progging hard adversary, that boss is hard, but it's clearable, and it's just, like, I need to practice it more. This shit was like, I know what I have to do, I'm doing it, I just need to do it better, somehow, and I also need to make sure that I keep all of the timers tracked, because something that I struggle with Dawn Warrior specifically is keeping the True Sight debuff active, because it only lasts like 49 or 50 seconds, and that shit is not a very long time, and it's really annoying. But again, with a min-cut clear like this, like, I need to make sure True Sight is up all the time. I need to make sure my Cosmic Shower is up on him all the time. I'm casting chickens whenever he's like teleporting and unhittable to like add more damage to my rotation. I need to make sure I'm ring swapping properly. I need to make sure I'm not dying, because Dawn Warrior doesn't really have any self-heals. It has the 2 extra dash iframes, but outside of the iframes, it doesn't really have any self-healing or shielding. So, like, my health is, like, an actual thing I need to worry about on this character, which, again, is not something that I had to worry about so much on my Thunderbreaker, and definitely not on my Nightwalker. So, like, this feels like such an achievement for me, because it was so much harder than anything else I've ever done, relatively speaking, in this game. And this was... never again is all I can say. It was very rewarding, but never again. My god. You'll notice the first segment is going to be a 2-burst, because I entered after using burst in P1, and I think the biggest time save I could possibly do here would be if I could just Ori burst into the second segment, but I am not even close to being able to do that. As you can see, my damage is nowhere near that. So every segment is either going to be a 2 or 3 burst, depending. I mean, if it is a 3 burst, I can't clear it. So some of them have to be 2 bursts. That's kind of how you have to look at pacing for things. You just have to kind of figure out how many bursts you're allowed and figure out how many bursts you're able to do within the window to see if you can even clear it theoretically or not. For the first segment, it gets very close. Like, it won't die in the mini, but it'll get very close. Like, I think the Dawn Warrior is super close to being able to do this much faster. But in its current state, I just don't think it's possible. Pop my mini with weapon jump. And again, it's only using Roar 4, weapon jump 4. That was really annoying. I remember this happening, that beam. Because I turned the tower off, but the beam had already started, so it was like, I'm going to beam you anyways. Didn't end up mattering, didn't kill me or anything, but it kind of just annoyed me. Because it's like, man, you're a real freaking a-hole. Yeah. And then obviously throughout this whole fight, you have to be clearing the systems. You can't really... Again, in these min-clear runs, you can't really afford to not hit the boss pretty much the whole time. At least that's how I felt. Especially when you have phases like this first segment where, like... I mean, even if I had... Because I'm hitting him pretty much 100% uptime right now. Even if I fully 100% uptimed him, I don't think I'd phase him, but, like... There's instances where that can matter, right? So you just, you want to always be hitting the boss. Like, it sounds stupid and obvious, but it's like, you always want to be hitting the boss. But I'm phasing the boss here now with the second burst in P1 segment. So I have 12 minutes left. So this means I have 6 bursts, theoretically. But it's actually going to end up being 7 bursts, because with cooldown reduction, you can get a 7th burst in, or an 11th... Yeah, an 11th burst overall in a 20-minute run. And that's the thing that's important, because you can't delay your bursts either. You need to be pressing shit on cooldown, which isn't always the easiest thing to do in the world. But it's good to know, because basically I have 7 bursts to play with under perfect circumstances. And 2 of those bursts will be Origin. Because in a 20-minute timer, the Origin count is a little fucked up, so you can delay your Origin 2 minutes and it will be fine, since you can't get another Origin cast in. So, I have 7 bursts to play with, 2 of them being Origin. So, really, one of these segments needs to be a 2 burst. And then the other... I mean, see, this is what I mean, like... Only one of these segments really can be a 3 burst, and even then we really don't want it to be a 3 burst. I don't know how I cleared this. I don't. I really don't. Like, I hope you can understand how... Just, like, I'm just yapping about bullshit at this point, because I'm watching this back, and I'm just like, man, I don't know how I cleared this. Like, the timing just isn't... It's close. This is so close to being a super comfortable run. But as it stands now, it feels almost unclearable. Just because how the timings work out. This is another burst. We're bursting at 10:10. This is regular burst. We're gonna see how much damage this does. I just do the front-loaded burst, because that's the only thing that I know how to do, and also I think it's fine. It's better than fucking up a back-loaded burst. And all I mean by front versus back-loaded is popping Eclipse in the roar, and like popping it all together without the duration kind of like expiring. And I know for a fact I'm not the greatest Dawn Warrior, don't get me wrong, but the class also isn't like, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any like technical things that I'm not doing. I think as far as it goes, Dawn Warrior is pretty straightforward in that regard. You just kind of have to do the things right. But if there are any Dawn Warrior mains and you see that I'm doing something noticeably wrong, please tell me. Because none of my friends play Dawn Warrior, and I don't really consume a bunch of stuff for my Legion champions. I just kind of learn how to do the burst, and then I kind of figure the rest out from there. Anyways, I think that's it. I have probably nothing else to say. I'm just going to keep yapping and saying the same things over and over and being like, wow, I can't believe I cleared this. But honestly, I can't believe I cleared this. This is the best I've probably ever played in my life for anything. And my god, was it stressful as fucking hell. And you can kind of see what I mean when I say I don't have 100% uptime, but my uptime is generally pretty good, I like to think. Like, I think it's within realistic human standards. And I think I'm clearing systems more than adequately fine. I'm not losing DPS to clearing systems, generally speaking. I only do things like go to the UFO when like I can't really hit Kalos to begin with. I'm bursting on cooldown. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the run if you watch it. If not, no worries. Like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. But if you don't watch the rest of this video, please at least watch the end of this run. Like, the fucking end of it. The timer, blows my mind. Thank you, guys. Bye.